Well, I like a lot of the older games. That's where most of the 2D games come from. There's just things like StarCraft. I play a lot of strategy games, a lot of isometric kind of combat, and also a couple of side scrollers like Worms, which are really good, and derivatives thereof like Liero. So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Worms pretty well. I love that game. But
Yeah.
besides that, just like Command and Conquer, then Grand Theft Auto 2 and Grand Theft Auto 3, which is hopefully going to be the inspirations for the next project.
Yeah.
But and then besides that, recently I've been playing a lot of Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Actually, I have no idea why, but
That's still kind of new.
yeah, it's still probably my favorite game, even though it's really juvenile but fun.
And I like a hand painted art that a lot of games don't really do that much anymore. There's a couple kind of that stand out.
Kind of like Worms, you mean? Like the Worms episode?
Yeah, like they take 2D and do it in a nice way. Well, as an artist, a couple games that kind of stood out for me that I liked, games like Metal Slug, which have a really kind of cool, cartoony, yet it's still kind of a dark universe. I like that tone. Different styles hitting each other.
I've been really inspired by just the modding scene. That's usually what I follow the most, actually, rather than just the game industry. I've been following. I used to follow Quake 1 mods quite a bit and pretty much download anything that was new off of there. And it was just always interesting to see what people were doing with with just changing weapons slightly and trying to get something unique. And yeah, I think that's always been very inspiring, sort of the modding community and what they've done with just old first-person shooters. That's what I've followed the most, I think. Well, to me, I think a lot of it is I really like having freedom in game and sort of I like a lot of chaotic movement and sort of excessive action. So I really like things that have a lot of freedom, and it's really up to the player what they want to do. It's not really sort of set in game. It's very non-linear, and to me that's really important to all the games that I've loved.
Yeah, there's two things that are kind of on my list. The first one is communication, because myself and a lot of other people I know that play games, there's so many games I have to play now. They really have to kind of stand out and hook me at the start. So they really have to kind of communicate what the game is about and how to play it and how to get into it really quick, or else I'll just move on to something else. And the other one is kind of like Lee was mentioning, the ability to master the skill set. I think that's really important to, easy to learn, hard to master kind of thing. The depth of skill, I think, is a really important part of a good game. Well, from a 2D platformer point of view, it's fairly different because it's really inspired by first-person shooter genre. The control is very much like an FPS rather than like a Mario or something like that. So in terms of the action and the speed and the skills you need, they're much closer to an FPS gamer, which I think is a little different for a 2D game.
I think it mostly relies on dexterity rather than, say, it's sort of that sort of inspiration with movement and everything in first-person shooters, rather than like being able to master the controls or kind of having any like puzzling aspects. So I think it's really different in that sense. It sort of has that same reliance and dexterity compared to other games.
Yeah, and I think the art sets it apart a little bit because it's hand painted. It's not a retro inspired game, which I see a lot of. But
yeah, definitely. Well, I have a degree in computer science, but I'm not really sure if that actually helped whatsoever. I don't think I used that at all during Capsized development. I did way more game development before I got the degree or even started that. Then it sort of just, I think, hurt my programming ability.
And I have a degree in illustration, and it helped just from that point. Most of my schooling was based around editorial work, and also like most of the stuff I learned was on the side doing mods and stuff like that. So kind of learning at your own with the help of other people.
I did take some courses in usability. That was probably really helpful. I really need to know that, but you can't really. There's nothing really applicable to games when it comes to science or just
like my classes. I all had like booklets, and I really had to bend in order to fit gaming into it.
Yeah.
So all my assignments were kind of me leewaying them into.
I pretty much took all AI and graphics courses, which I tried to bend towards games, but it got a little bit weird sometimes. I definitely did not use any AI research or anything like that in Capsized.
It's really kind of as we go a lot of the time. He handles all the programming and the business side of stuff, and I do most of the creative art and writing and stuff like that. And then we talk to each other a lot as to what decisions we're going to make. And
yeah, I think even with weapons or anything, it's usually like you just tell me sort of what style you're thinking of. I tell you what style, then I try something.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's not really that pre-designed before. It's just as we go.
Really, as we go. Because there's only two of us, I don't think we really need that level of structure. If we were a bigger team, then it could get really complex or fast, but because there's only two of us, it doesn't really matter. Well, the setting and kind of the theme of the game, like the fact that it's on an alien planet and it's jungle-based and you're a little spaceman, really was derived from, essentially from the start. In that we wanted it to be a sci-fi game with a lot of, alien monsters and we wanted it to be pretty simple. So, get much simpler than a space guy crash landing on an alien planet. As for the actual art style, it's just my style that I've developed over years of drawing.
I think the biggest problem with when it was developing is that we had no idea what platform we were going to end up on. We didn't really have an end goal. Actually, we kind of just our original mind was that we would go on XBLA or we might switch platforms to PSN, and then we really didn't have anything firmly set. Very end of development, which made programming extremely frustrating because I didn't want to start networking until I knew what platform we are, and I didn't want to go too heavily into optimization. And then I was running on Xbox and PC simultaneously, pretty much entirely through development, which is just a headache that wasn't needed, I guess. And I kind of wish we just would have went from the PC market from the start, just to keep things easier. I think the biggest lesson learned, well, one of them is with development, that I gotta make better editors for Jesse. That's definitely true. Because the editor,
I do not know how to program. So essentially, anytime I looked at something and wanted to change something, like change the health of an enemy or what kind of weapon they shot, I had to stick around in the code for a little while, get lost, and then just bug lead to fix it himself. So it ended up being just kind of really tedious. Me just poking him until he changed something that if we had a good editor, I could have just done it myself. It would have saved.
Or some sort of scripting engine that was designed, something like that. Sure.
Yes, we learned a lot of those lessons just because this was really our first game together as a team.
We're just throwing ideas back and forth right now. I think.
Yeah.
We're probably going to. I think the next project is definitely going to be in the same sort of style as Capsized.
It'll definitely be a 2D platformer.
Yeah, because we also want to use everything we learned about the 2D platform genre, about the shooting genre, and what people are expecting, and also appeal to the same crowd. So it'll be definitely appealing to the Capsized crowd.